Hi everyone. I am happy to communicate that I will be collaborating with Northumbria University as a guest lecturer in marketing. In that regard, I would like to share with you the lecture that I gave to the postgraduate students about marketing strategy. Unfortunately, given the current coronavirus situation, I had to conduct this first lecture via university's online platform. But I don't want to miss the opportunity to thank the more than 90% of the students who logged on the lecture and at the end of it participated in an engaging Q&A. So without further ado, I leave you with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here today. It's a real pleasure for me to share with you some of my experience with you. The moment Octavio told me that about this idea, this presentation, I was very, very proud and happy to do it. So I will start basically. So the idea of today is analyze a little bit more about the social media market and all the variables and aspects that you should take into account when eventually creating a strategy. So basically what we're going to see today is I'm going to introduce myself in a detailed way, and then we're going to start with aspects related to marketing and how from that marketing aspect we are going to start analyzing like marketing research, consumer behavior, the means of communication, branding, advertising, influencers. We're going to make a focus on Instagram. It's the social media of the moment nowadays. Then we're going to know how to see how to the crisis. If you have to face that, you should the tools and have the weapons to solve it, and eventually the marketing strategy that you should take into account and implement once you have conduct all the previous steps. We're also gonna analyze the case. It is a business case that we're gonna be using it throughout the presentation. This UC1000. It's an isotonic water. So without further ado, let's start. So my name is Gaston Kaufer-Barber. I'm from Argentina. Basically, I am a marketing bachelor. I did an MBA in London a couple of years ago. I've been working in marketing and sales departments, working 4 countries. These are some of the industries. Work for Coca-Cola and Avon. Clarin is a mass media company in Latin America. I also directed a hotel with which we won the most important marketing award. I'm currently living in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, and I'm being sponsored by the Erasmus University Rotterdam. I don't know if you know the uni, but it's one of the most prestigious one here in Europe. I am the founder and CEO of Toucan Insights, and I also write articles about marketing strategy for a Mexican business magazine, which is Stratega. And I am also a contributor for Forbes magazine as a travel marketing expert. That being said, let's start with the presentation. So, marketing. Let's say we're going to start by seeing the definition of it by probably the father of modern marketing. I'm pretty sure you all know this already, but it's a very good way to start. So, what is the purpose of doing marketing? And according to Kotler, is like the science and art of exploring, creating, and delivering value to satisfy the needs of a target market. And in this aspect is in which I want to make a point, because from this point on, the whole presentation will unfold basically. So, target market. So what is a target market? Basically, targeting is identifying consumers and their preferences, and there are many different targets a company could have. You could be offering your service to let's say millennials, to for instance baby boomers, to women, to men. In countries in Latin America and Europe, you name it. Something that I've been asked on a couple of occasions is, okay, how do I know who my target is? So these are 3 ways in which you could use and to identify who your target audience is. First one is to analyze your revenue streams. So who is buying your product currently? By doing that, you will be able to identify the companies, the way they are operating. If they are your clients currently, you will be able to identify the industry, the market in which they operate, all the variables that are affecting them, which is very important to understand and to manage the timing. The other point is to identify your competitors' offering and clients. Even though you could be competing in the same industry, there's a possibility that your competitors is doing something slightly different. And maybe it's not only based in the product or the service that you're offering, but maybe it's like the customer service. Maybe it is the marketing communications. They have launched a very successful campaign. Again, could be many aspects that is very important for you to bear in mind, and never assume that because you are competing in the same industry and you offer the same type of product or service, it is entirely the same type of offering eventually. The third point that I wanted to make is like to comprehend the needs of your clients and consumer. So, and the aim of this is to improve your offering. So let's say, for instance, that you operate on a B2B basis, so you offer a business and your business is being acquired by another company, but that company sells their services or their products to a consumer, to an end consumer, to a person. So you need to understand, that is why they're both in red, the needs, the wants of that consumer to satisfy and solve eventually the problems of your client, who is the B in yellow. Those are the three main aspects that I want you to bear in mind about identifying and targeting. So now that we have that basis, we are going to continue with marketing research, which is the aspect that will help you to understand and to identify and to segment the market accordingly. So the business case of today is you're going to be a consulting services firm, and you have two types of clients. So you have a company operating in the FMCG industry and another one in the automotive industry. You know, type of products. This is very, very, very easy to comprehend. So it's beverages and a family car. Product characteristics. You have a number of available options, for instance, so size, flavors, etc. A number of let's say seats that is related to the size of your family, to the number of members. Safety, design, you know, simple things about a car that we pay attention when we are interested in getting one. Type of consumers. In this regard, you have to consider the four main market segmentation approaches, which are location, geography, basically, demography, you know, men, women, age, psychographics, and behavior. I'm going to make a point on these two later on the presentation. But this is like the two type of clients that you have. For this presentation, we're going to focus on the FMCG client. So going back to the previous slides, and we're going to be focusing on the third point, which is comprehend the needs of your clients and consumer to improve your offering. The client of our client is a company named UC1000 Water that I presented at the beginning of the presentation. So you're offering the services, that is why it's in orange, to your client and consumer. They're both in orange. We are going to understand the end consumer's needs. So UC1000, it's a tonic drink. I don't know if some of you know this company or not. I'm going to explain a little bit more about them. So they are a company that they introduce themselves as being like extremely healthy, and the aspect that they enhance most is that the beverage, the lemon water, contains 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And that is very healthy, and you can see that also they highlight the fact that they have this certificate of ICO. Also, the company manufactures you know that a healthy drink and isotonic under license. They want you to know that they are like follow all the procedures necessary to provide a product of a very good quality. Going back to what we were seeing before about the market segmentation, this is the market segmentation of this company. So they are based in Indonesia, plus they have distributors in selected APAG's Asia Pacific markets. So the demography of their market segmentation of the people that they are targeting is, men and women ages 18-45. Psychographics. This is the other aspect that I wanted to highlight for you is, okay, what is a psychographical segmentation? It is based on emotions, values, desires, lifestyle goals, and the psychographic segmentation for UC1000 is exactly this, right? Healthy lifestyle, food conscious, aiming to have a good body, but also be environmentally responsible. And the behavioral segmentation, it entails like involving consumers' knowledge. So how much do you know about the product, right? Attitude, use you do of the service. So examples are like occasions, benefits sought, user status, etc. In this case, the behavioral segmentation involves like working out, sports, and to recover minerals and energy. That is like the more rational benefit that consumers are perceiving, but also, is to provide the user with a social, responsible, and healthy image before their circle. So I'm responsible. I'm drinking this isotonic drink, which contains vitamin C, and also vitamin C per se. It is a very important mineral and ingredient that you could take in Indonesia, because they are very conscious about health and not getting sick, etc. So vitamin C is very important. That is why they are highlighting it so much. So another important aspect regarding your target audience. So we've seen, we have identified the target audience. We have segmented the market. Now, what happens if you would want to expand that target audience? You have grown so much that you need to analyze other variables, markets, potential clients. So for that, there's a very well-known matrix of Igor Ansoff. So for that, we are going to use, we will be analyzing new markets, new consumers, new uses, or all the three of them. In this case, for instance, we were seeing that they were based in Indonesia and they have other distributors. So a possibility could be to, new markets, they could be focusing in Latin America. Instead of focusing on people, 18-45 that work out, that are looking for a healthy lifestyle, they could be focusing on senior citizens. New uses could be linked to the previous one, so as a healthy vitamin supplement. So it's, instead of taking the orange juice in the morning, you could be taking the UC1000 orange water. Why not? All the three of them, well, new consumers, markets, and uses, you can use all the three above. And by doing that, you will be expanding your market, expanding your target audience, reaching new consumers with that same product. It is very important that the moment you continue to expand your horizons and your borders, you always have to keep on doing the same research in regard to the consumers to see if they are prone, if the conditions are the appropriate ones for your product to enter that market. And please do never assume that because your product is very demanded in your market, it will be demanded in other markets, even though they appear to be similar. You always have to conduct the research. That being said, sorry, I escaped one. This is very important also in regard to the target and identifying, and it is related to expanding your target audience. Always remember to define your target audience based on the needs that you're able to solve with your offering. So do not focus just on an isotonic drink designed for people that work out, but also, broaden your mind. There are many other people that could be using it. Also, another example could be like office workers that want to keep a healthy lifestyle, and they don't like water, or they don't like coffee or tea, or the things that we all drink when we are at the office. So broaden your mind, pay attention to the research, conduct the research, and focus on the needs that you are able to solve with your offering, either a product or a service. We will continue now with another very important aspect that is more related to the communication. So, consumer behavior and means of communication. Until now, we were to a certain extent analyzing the consumption characteristics. So we have an example. We have analyzed UC 1000, the market in which they operate, the target characteristics. But now we have to pay more attention to the communicational channels, right? These are opinion formation networks that will impact directly on the offering and on the degree of success of the offering. For that, it is important that you bear in mind that the target will be impacted by your communications in many different ways. The channels that you have selected to communicate have a major importance in the success of your product, and the content of it is of utmost importance as well. Regarding this slide, I want to highlight the fact that even though digital marketing is exploding and it is a very important technique, there are some other aspects that will impact your target information and knowledge about your brand, and that you should bear in mind as well. Like, for example, we have like television, billboard. In regard to that, we can be mentioning as an example, like, for instance, journalists. What do journalists do or say about your brand? Newspapers and magazines. In which magazines is your product appearing? How is the look and feel of it? What are people saying about it? Radio as well, blogs and articles, same thing. Experts speaking about your product, and reviews. Nowadays we have many of those. They are very important, and they could really help you because they will serve as a sort of a proof of your quality, in the case of the UC 1000, that the product actually works, and that is actually providing that benefit sought, as we saw previously on the behavioral segmentation, that benefit sought that consumers want. So it is very important to have that in mind. We're going to be speaking a little bit more about reviews later on this presentation, but another instance could be like salesperson. If you have let's say that this UC 1000 company have a salesperson that them doesn't like to sell, doesn't have the skills, is not in the right mood, is like it diminishes the product quality and so on and so forth. It won't provide a very good experience, basically, and in the end it will damage your company, and you're probably part of your strategy. That being said, let's go to the sort of the funnel. So it's like the awareness stage will focus on the stage in which you need to make your product known. People don't know you. They have no idea what you do, what you're offering. They don't know your brand. So you have to start communicating the benefits of it, the qualities, what is the benefits that you will be providing and the needs that you will be addressing. So there you have some means of communication. We have email, loyalty programs, YouTube videos, tutorials, etc. Then when they know who you are, they will need to find you. So for that, there are some other list of tools that you could use, like GPS, where to find you, price per click, organic search. I'm sure you are familiar with Google AdWords and all those tools. So that is basically what is being stated in findability. And the reputation, we've been talking about blogs and articles. It is very important people speak good things about your product and your service. So it is very important that you pay attention to every aspect of it. Deliverability, if I order something online, for instance, and you promise me that I'm going to receive it in 1 or 2 days, I want to receive it in 1 or 2 days. I want to receive it in a good state, in the way in which I bought it. So, and word of mouth, that will be impacting directly on all the rest of the chain. I will be accelerating the chain as well, the sales process. Convert, so it is linked with advocacy, which is the ideal state in which we all want to take our consumers. We want them to be advocates, to speak well about us. So the conversion rate, it is where they will be finding your product and where they will be buying it. So you have websites, online banking, etc., online booking, etc. And then the probably the most important stage of it, which is advocacy. So social posts, people communicate with you. This is done currently very much by companies. I'm sure you've seen it. I know that Walmart is doing it, and what they do is they ask their employees to use their social media networks, mainly in this case it's LinkedIn. So they use their social media networks to post things about the company, about their employers. So they are spreading the word as a word of mouth of how good is work here, how good I feel, this company is fantastic, and you're listening it by an employee who's actually telling you that it's very good. This also serves very much as a way of attracting talent. I'm sure most of you will be tempted with some offers like this once you graduate in regard to this company is fantastic, and you will be seeing lots of reviews. Okay, this is a strategy. It's important for you to know that in many cases this is a strategy, and that the companies are conducting through their employees. That being said, let's move on to. So now we're going to focus a little bit more on digital touch points with the brand. So we know and we've seen that consumers are impacted in many different ways through different media, and we have to bear in mind all these aspects, all these communicational channels. But now we're going to focus on the digital touch points with your brand, and that will eventually create an opinion of your offering. So focusing on the digital touch points, we have the same stages basically: is awareness, consideration, purchase, experience, and advocacy. And we have some other channels. We have internet, mobile app, email, etc. And each stage has different recommended digital tools that you could use. And then there are some examples about persona A, B, C, and their behavior is very important. That is why I like very, very much this graph, for you to see that the behavior is not always linear. It's not always the same. I was telling you about assuming that the behavior of one consumer even though it belongs to the same age group, same sex, same like behavioral type, but from a different country, do never assume that it will act and react and behave in the same way. So there are some examples here. You have persona A, for instance, that just like have seen your brand on a digital ad, then it went to the homepage, then it went to the customization, and then went directly to the live chat, because clearly them has find the what them was looking for. Then he went into the mobile app, to the mobile app. I'm speaking about the green one, the persona A, and then it continues. So it is very important for you to understand that we are all the same, but we do not behave entirely exactly the same as consumers. Let's move on. So now I'm gonna speak a little bit more about branding and advertising, and for that we're going to go back to our example. So I have added this slide again for you to remember what we were talking about. So it's you are a consulting services firm, you have a client, and that client has clients which are end consumers, which are eventually people that are buying your product. So they were located in Indonesia, distributors in selected APAC markets, 1845, men and women, emotions, value, healthy lifestyle. You remember it. So let's see now the branding and the communications that this company has been doing. And you will see that is, and then please do let me know if you think that this is right or this is wrong, or there's something missing in their communications, but you will see it now. So this is what they are communicating, basically, on social media, on their website, etc. And important point, there are some important points that I would like to highlight here. So one is like the 1,000 milligram of vitamin C. You will see it in pretty much every piece, every marketing piece. Here 1,000, the bottle as well. The beauty contest again. So you could imagine that, okay, this beverage, this isotonic beverage, was designed for people that work out, people that go running, and expand it a little bit more. But no, you could see that it's also like for a beauty contest, and it could be perceived as a healthy, as a way to express the type of persona that I want to be. It's a sort of an extension, and it's the way in which I want to be perceived. That could also be seen in the, I don't know if you could see the arrow here, but in this communication, communicational material, you have a bicycle, you have people like playing volleyball. That is not working out. That is more like the type of activity that we are all using, that we are all doing. That is very sort of normal in terms of you get your bike, you go out for a bike. That is not working out to compete in a competition for lifting weights and be like extremely muscle. There is also a connection that I'm pretty sure that you could see it, and this one, the first one, related to the Manchester United. So, and the hashtag, there you have it as well. Social media, pay attention. So dominate any condition. The design of the bottle and the football players there as well. In the next slide, you can see that they are associated. There is a connection between them and Manchester United. And here, yes, you could see the dominate any condition, the core of their communicational strategy, which basically are people that work out, that they go to gym, they care about their body, the way they look, and also once again, like the picture of the supermarket shelf with Zlatan and all the rest of the players. This is the branding and advertising of the company. I think it's very well linked, and they have expanded in a very good way in terms of for instance, the beauty contest. That is fantastic. Moving on, we're going to focus now on influencers and social media. I have added a couple of images here which contain important pieces of information. It's very interesting to see how the industry has changed during only the last couple of years. So the first one is, the rise of micro-influencers. All of us have an account of Instagram or a social media account. Well, a couple of years ago, we were not able to be considered influencers, but now we do. So let's see this rate. So now it was in 2016 was 1 mega influencers. There you have it. So it's more than 1 million followers nowadays. It is 1/3 of that. It was in 2016. Now what you need to do, it is considered a micro influencer. The ratio is 1 to 10. This has provided a completely different approach to the industry in regard to this. Companies used to hire 1 mega influencer to post either a story. I'm talking about Instagram now. So 1 story or 1 post or comment on something or participate in an event, a happening, that is how it's called. Currently, the companies are using, instead of 1 mega influencer, they are using like 100 micro influencers. They believe that micro influencers have much more conversion rate in terms of participation with their audience than mega influencers. An important part of, why would you be using an influencer marketing platform if you are, on the side of the company that you will eventually be. So the reasons why, you're here. So it's big companies are leveraging third-party influencer marketing software to solve industry challenges that would otherwise take hundreds of hours at scale. So the reasons, basically, influencer discovery and communications, campaign automation and reporting, influencer payments. These are mainly the reasons why companies are using, and the influencer market and influencer marketing as a strategy. It is expected this year to reach the $10 billion worldwide and counting. It has been growing for the past decade, and it will be growing. Moving on, I focus a little bit on Instagram, which is the social media network that is more trendy nowadays, and I'm going to share with you some information about the social media network. So here you have it, the Great Gateway. Percentage that each social media platform was used in all campaigns. So there you have it. So Instagram was used in basically every single campaign. Twitter as well. In regard to this, it is very important for you to know that the main type of content that consumers like and that generate more traction is video. So video, it is a very powerful tool. It is much more powerful tool than a picture or than a story when considering Instagram. You're able to show an experience like a small story. So it is very clear for companies to use a video and to show a little bit more, not only the product itself or the service, but also the experience. So the other one, you can see here the impact of Instagram's breakaway. So this is the breakdown of required posts by social platform in a typical 2019 campaign. So these are the number from the total number of posts a company posts, basically, during a campaign. 24% go to Instagram, 17% goes to Facebook, 17% for YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, and then the rest is divided amongst the other four. These are the social media networks that are trendy nowadays, that have more traction, that are very powerful, and other ones in which you should focus. However, and this is very important, you should also bear in mind the industry in which you're working, and not to launch, jump like away to Instagram because it is the trendy one, and probably you are working in an industry that people don't use Instagram, like I don't know, mechanics, for instance, like people that they're working designing machines. So now you have a clear idea of the social media networks and everything. Let's imagine that you are managing a campaign, but now you are faced with a crisis. Something happened. You have a very angry customer who didn't receive the product in the way in which them was expecting it, and who is angry about something. Well, this person grabs his phone and is sort of posting all this on social media, tagging you, and your brand is out there being like smashed by all these comments. You can find people always like to jump on these occasions and start adding, they did this to me, they did that to me, they're horrible people, and we should stop buying anything from them. There are basically 3 stages that you should pay attention when faced with a crisis. So the first one is to accept the problem to the public. Yes, we have committed this mistake, we are having this problem, we are having this issue, and this is to the public because the person, your customer, has published this online and anyone could see it. The second one is to generate an emotional bond with the situation. So it's like, we are, as it says there, we are deeply sorry about the situation. And the third one is that you will provide a solution. You are being responsible, and that you will address the appropriate solution for that client. So anyone could see that. Future clients, probably that client, if he's very angry or he has suffered a very disappointing experience, probably you lost that customer. But the rest should see that you're managing the situation accordingly. So there's a step-by-step process to handle these situations. The first one is to create an internal guide for your social media management. So basically, know how to proceed, and this includes not only on a crisis scenario, but also when to post, what to post, everything in order. You should have that guide. The second one is that key people should be available and should, as we've seen before, they should be advocate. They should transmit this sort of a sense of responsibility, and do never give that image of that, okay, we are a company, we are like, we have no idea who works here, no one is like giving the attention that we want, we don't know the name. On the cases, and you will be able to see it, the cases in which an employee stands out and speaks for the company is always good for the company, it's always better for them. So the third one, it's like speak the truth about the situation. It's linked to the previous slide. And the fourth one is like very, very simple. We are humans communicating in that same way. It is linked to the previous one in the sense of we don't like to receive a response like if we were a sort of machine, or it's like the company itself is answering something. There must be someone behind that computer. So the idea create that level of empathy by stating the problem and being open about it, but also being responsible in the sense of being capable of solving it. So step 5 of this crisis step-by-step procedure is the rule of 3. So this is, and it's linked to what I was speaking before. So if a person complains on social media, you should reply that comment on the same social media network. Now, if the person is still very angry and replies to your comment, now you're having an argument. So you should take this conversation offline. You should provide them with a phone number, with a direct message, or ask them to give you their contact details, so you are able to solve this privately. Other important instances is like, okay, do not block bad comments or reviews. Like, work on them, make that angry customer ideally an advocate, in the sense of, okay, you have highlighted this problem. We are working on it because we want to address it properly. We want you to try it again. That is why, say thanks, send invitations, a gift. Try it again. Your opinion is very important for us. So by doing that, you will be giving the angry customer opportunity to have a more protagonist role in solving the issue, and they usually like that, basically. So that is a very powerful strategy to convert like an angry customer into an advocate. I've seen that strategy work, and it's really powerful, and how they become like very strong advocates, actually. The last one is, okay, never respond with anger to a criticism. And the person in charge of the social media should be calm, reply in a human, emotional, and professional way. This should also be stated in the in the managerial like booklet that we were seeing before, and how to handle social media management, not only in crisis but also in other aspects as well. Moving forward, we have arrived into the marketing strategy. So we've seen all the aspects related to targeting, to the branding and advertising, to the marketing research, consumer behavior, influencers, social media networks, what works, what doesn't, what you should pay attention. So now we are going to arrive into the strategy. And what I have added here is like a sort of a list of recommendations. It's a sort of summary when you will be creating your marketing strategy for your companies. So that list is basically the following. So identify your different target audiences and comprehend their needs. Know the market inside out, and try to be always one step ahead of your competitors. Understand the characteristics and needs of the end consumer. Market segmentation is key. The opinion formation, figures, and influences are not only on social media, and this is very important. You remember we saw the radio, the newspapers, the articles, the reviews. We've seen the reviews on the example, the previous slide. So how to manage a crisis, it is also very important. Don't jump blindly to the trendy social media network to launch your campaign. Analyze it. Be sure that your industry actually operates and key people actually use that social media network. Maybe it is possible that you could reach much better results by publishing in any other media. And the last one is like a very popular phrase in the marketing research industry is assumptions are the mother of all fuck-ups. So be professional and conduct the research. Do not assume, as I was saying before, do not assume that people, even though you share a lot of things and you belong to the same generation, will react and behave as consumers in the same way. So conduct the research. You are professionals. You know how to do this. And on this side, this is arriving to the ending of the presentation. So it's a big thank you for being here today. For log on, I will leave you my contact details in case you have any other questions, in case you need more information, in case you would like to visit our website, whatever you would like to do. Please do not hesitate in contacting me, and I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions or doubts that you may have, provide you with more information, and graduate, be safe, stay at home, and looking forward to see you in the near future.